Finally, if there is one brand which we can say is the most successful Indian brand globally, that is yoga. And yoga simply means integration. Yoga is not about physical posture. It's not the Hatha Yoga, the physical postures, asanas. Yoga is about integrating the physical with the mental, with the spiritual. The physical with the ethereal, with the oral, with the spiritual. An integrated spirit, integrated soul, integrated body and mind is the one that achieves perfection. If managerial excellence or organization excellence has to be achieved, the integration between the vision and the mission and the policy and the procedure and the people, if that can be achieved 100%, then the organization achieves its excellence. It's only because of aberrations in this integration that we often lose our way. So integration, which is the core of the yoga, is truly a strong, successful Indian value. And that really is the underpinning of an organizational excellence. And that's something which would be quite a worthwhile subject for research to be made. And I would commend that to this center, which is taking this pioneering effort to look at the Indian ethos in the context of managerial excellence. Thanks for this opportunity.
In today's context, when Indian youth have realized that the golden geckos of the world who claim ends justify the means, greed is good, have fallen by the wayside and are looking for new tenets and practices to be emulated, I think Mr. Desai's words of wisdom that we would not have to look far but look into ourselves to find that the means and the processes have to be focused on is very relevant for the youth of today. The center, as we all know, has been focusing its activities on research and development. Through its efforts, this year we have two materials to release. The first one is a compendium titled Managerial Excellence Through Indian Ethos. It is a compendium of 12 articles covering various aspects of Indian ethos on management. This has contributions from eminent people like Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, Dr. Neetu Jain and faculty members of TAPMI. Besides, as many as 10 students have articulated their views on the subtle nuances of managerial wisdom from various perspectives. It also has an inspiring message from Dr. RCN, the director of TAPMI. I will request Professor Shrikant to share the details of the book.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, it's a great privilege for me to stand in front of you and then share a few things which are there put in the books which are being released today. As you all are aware, the Center for Indian Heritage, Culture and Management, it was started in 2009. Till now, 2 books have been released by the center. 1 year after that, in the 3rd year, the center is delivering 2 babies. The first one is a compendium and second one is a book. The compendium is named Managerial Excellence Through Indian Ethos. It contains 12 articles. The papers which have been submitted and which have been part of the compendium are very, very diverse. They have mentions from the Ramayana. In fact, there is a paper which tries to discuss about the impression management by Hanuman, which is an outcome of Ramayana, which is taken from Ramayana. There is a paper which tries to give the insights from the Jain philosophy and tries to tell about the environment management. There is a paper by one speaker who is there amidst us, Radhakrishnan Pillai. He has dealt elaborately about Kautilya and Kautilya's Arthashastra. There are articles which speak about the ethics. This book, this compendium which is being released now, is an outcome of hard work by 12 authors. There are 6 authors from the students and there are 6 people who have given their papers, who come from different areas like teaching. There are professors who have given and people from industry have given their papers. The book has been edited by Professor Rajagopalan, Dr. Rajagopalan, Guraj Kidiur, and very importantly Dr. Vidya Pratap. Without the efforts of these people, the compendium, it would have been very difficult for us to come up with the compendium. May I request the dignitaries to release the compendium?
I would like Dr. Bhatt to release the first compendium edition by presenting it to Mr. Suresh. Thank you, sir. The second book, which is titled Rewind, Pause, Start by Dr. AVR. It says learning starts from the literature of the land, according to Badroko of the Harvard Business School. This book, true to its title, rewinds into the 5,000-year-old heritage texts of India to cull out pearls of wisdom for the current managers. This is a valuable addition to the existing literature, and we thank Dr. A.V. Rajgopalan for his efforts. I would like Mr. Seshasai to release this book by presenting it to Dr. Manipal. As our traditional Indian-based command, Atithi Devo Bhava, I would like to request Professor Vasudev Rao to honor our guests by handing over the Angavas to the chief guest. Now I'd like to invite Sri S. N. Suresh, the special invitee, to deliver the special invitee address.
Distinguished guests on the dais, faculties, my dear students, my deepest condolences to the TAPMI family. Management concept is a very old and its origins are traced to ancient times. The concept of Indian management is getting wide acceptance in the world. Managers are members of different social systems arising from both work and non-work related activities. Organization culture represents the core values, beliefs and attitudes in an organization. An ethical organization culture is a culture which supports and promotes ethical behavior in the organization. Building an ethical organization culture requires clearly define the core values of the organization, selecting the appropriate personnel, rewarding ethical behavior and keeping checks on unethical behavior. It has always been argued that cultural context of management techniques is critical to the success of their application. All the members, leaders and managers businessmen and workers, householders, teachers, and all belonging to different strata and professions have to work for it. Indian traditions, while recognizing the need for widening intellectual horizons, have simultaneously accepted the principle of harmony and balance with the eclectic perspective of life. Many movements in India, like Art of Living, are influencing the life of national, individuals, and the world. It has contributed to self-development and self-management. Indian ethos has retained its core universal human values. Various races, different people speaking different languages and following different religions have made India their home and have contributed to the making of Indian ethos. Indians believe in Vasudeva Kutumbakam, means the whole world is a family and we help each other considering them as a family members. This helps in creating unity in diversity. Concept of dharma is linked with that of swadharma. Every individual has his own sense of duty, his own set of rights and wrongs, and his own concept of good and bad. People have to do their respective duties or work. Gita has long back proclaimed that enlightened persons master all those emotions and impulses that cloud sound judgment. Good leaders are selfless, take initiative and focus on their duty rather than obsessing over outcomes or financial gain. Karma, the principle of action, is not just doing a job for material rewards and fame, but is a dynamic concept of performing duty with detached mind. Indian techniques of meditation helps in stress management. Studying ancient scriptures such as Manusmriti, Mahabharata, Gita, Arthashastra has highlighted the importance of self-management for leading organization and men. The principle of Kautilya can offer advice to modern managers. The faith in power of intellect that control the mind and body, the urge to balance the compulsion to amass wealth with the need for inner happiness, the good sense that can distinguish between the right and wrong. Principle of Kautilya has offered advice to the modern managers. Indian ethos of ideas like karma, dharma, dhanam is seen in the management in the form of corporate social responsibility, environmental concern, governance, donation and welfare to the society. And thus we Indians have enough support for creating excellence in managerial activities with the help of our own culture and philosophy. Today when our public life is caught in the vortex of scams and scandals, when market forces direct the course of actions for all, when the index of the stock becomes the sole guiding principle of life, it is time to pause and think where we are going. Today we have to decide what type of people we want to be, what type of society we wish to be, and what kind of country we hope to be. Thus, rather than depending on Western countries' philosophy or management thought for the same, the center has done a wonderful performance under the ACT-sponsored IAPC grant. Congratulations for this center. I am thankful for the management of TAPMI, especially Dr. Rajgopal, for inviting me to the TAPMI. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. As you rightly mentioned, the role of Siddha Prajna continues to be a model for all the modern managers from which we could learn many lessons. I would like to request Professor Vijaya to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning. This conference was organized as an attempt to showcase the deeply ingrained Indian wisdom and propagate it amongst us, many of us, and how usefully these can be integrated into management thought. This has been a very important event for us. We sincerely thank Dr. Vinod Bhatt from Manipal University for gracing the occasion and giving the inaugural address and giving us a lot of wisdom on Bill Durant and about the historical perspective that India has gathered from all over the world, and of course India has to give it to. Thank you, sir. Gratitude to our chief guest, Sri K. Sai, to have come here and have shared his valuable insights. He has put it all very briefly, succinctly, like how our Indian wisdom has always thought about means as much as the ends, as a family principle. See, when I used to take HR and when we talk about the pink slip, it used to hurt. You know, that India had a principle of the belongingness and inclusiveness. I think we feel proud about it. And then the trusteeship in corporate governance, and of course yoga, which is catching up very well to integrate the whole of life. These were great insights. We thank Mr. Suresh for gracing the occasion, and we sincerely thank AICT for sponsoring this event and receiving the beings, Professor Vasudev Rao, Professor Chaudhary Prasad, our faculty, and all of you present here for being here, for having made it. Thank you.
Namaskar. I request all the dignitaries, Sri Radhakrishnan Pillai, Dr. Subhash Sharma, Dr. Jayakaran, Reverend Dr. Anand Sambil, and Dr. D. Sri Kumar Menon to occupy the places on their dais. With our insights on the concept of Parivar, work is worship, Dharma and Swadharma, and Yoga, we shall move on to the first session. The author of the widely known best-selling book, Corporate Chanakya, our first speaker for the day is Sri Radhakrishnan Pillai. Mr. Radhakrishnan Pillai from the University of Mumbai, Department of Philosophy, is the founder-director of Chanakya Institute of Public Leadership. He has done an extensive research on Kautilya's Arthashastra under the guidance of Dr. Gangadhar Nair. His first book, Corporate Chanakya, has the unique distinction of being made into an audiobook, a film, Chanakya Speaks, and translated into 10 regional languages. He has represented India in various national and international conferences, including the Academy of Management in Texas, presented papers in the Indian Philosophy Conference, and chaired session at the Afro-Asian Philosophical Congress. I welcome you, sir, and request you to enlighten the crowd.
A warm good morning, it's already afternoon. First of all, my hearty condolences to the departed soul, the family, the faculties, the friends over here. Yesterday evening when I arrived, Rajgopal, he told me about it, and immediately two thoughts ran through my mind. The first is definitely about sadness, because I am the director of an institute where we have young boys and girls. And suddenly it struck me that if I have to lose one of my students like this, exactly the same age group, brilliant boys and girls, I think it's not just about feeling sad, it's also about responsibility. And I can understand the management, how much they are filled with so much things happening. But the second interesting feeling that I got was totally opposite. What do you learn from death? And interestingly, the thought that ran through my mind was that actually from death you can learn excellence, which is the topic for the day. How come? Let me give you two examples. Steve Jobs, if you look at his career, the last part of his life was the most productive life, because he was continuously aware of the death that was nearing him. And actually being aware of death makes you that let's do the best in the limited time that has been given. The second example is an Indian example that comes in the life of Raja Parikshit. The moment Parikshit is cursed that he's going to die in the next 7 days, he says, okay, I have done my best, but let me do the better one for the next world. And that's where he gets the best of the rishis, and under the great teachers he listens to the Bhagavad Mahapurana. Actually, that's productive. And if you look at culturally, in this particular nation, we have never ever believed that death is just the last thing of life. There is a life before this, there is a life after this. We are just a momentary phase in this journey called the spiritual journey. Interestingly, one thing in our society which we are not able to learn, and probably we should not duplicate, is certain things from the West which are not needed here. For example, old age homes. It's a new concept to us. You know, one of my teachers used to tell me that having an old dying person in your house is a blessing to the house. Can I repeat that? Having an old dying person in your house is a blessing to that house. We never had old age homes. If at all there is a person who doesn't have children, villagers used to invite that person to come home and they will take care of that sick person. And what is the benefit out of that? Saying that you see that old dying person and you become aware of your own temporal existence. You become aware that it's going to be my own condition. This is a society that we're talking about where Punarjanama can also be stopped. And therefore, the lifetime that we have, can it make a lifetime of excellence? Thinking back, let me go back to Chanakya and my paper on leadership excellence through Indian ethos. I've changed the word from management ethos to leadership ethos. Because Chanakya was a speaker, a teacher, and a creator of kings. That's why he was a kingmaker. A quick recap, I'm sure many of you know about this, but who was Chanakya? Born in the 4th century BC, known by 3 names, Vishnugupta, Kautilya, and Chanakya had taken an oath to pull down the Nanda dynasty. Chandragupta Maurya's kingmaker, responsible for the defeat of Alexander in India. Now this is very interesting that leadership is not just about you, it's also about your competition. It's also about globalization. Because today's generation is talking about the competition coming from the bigger global giants. But if you have excellence in thinking, if you have strategic thinking and you've got strategic leadership, you can actually defeat some of the best emperors also. Chanakya did that. Interestingly, the Chanakya's glory continues beyond Chanakya and Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya's grandson was Ashok, and he actually took Indian ideas across the globe through Buddhism. So today, Buddhism is one of the world's largest growing faiths and religions because of Ashoka who took it abroad. Interestingly, trained by Chanakya. A lot of references that come to him that he had also used Chanakya from a different perspective. So you have Alexander's defeat and you have a global emperor in Ashoka, all following the ideas of Chanakya and his thinking. But what's very interesting is that he has documented all these ideas for future generations. See, all students over here, professors over here, we have to understand the importance of doing research. That's part one. But the second part is actually documenting it. Many times when you do these research papers, we wonder why. We had this